back with more Skyline content, baby. Now with more Skyline content comes more people requesting more modifications, and I always say this car is getting to the point where it is almost maxed out in everything that we can do. We've done wheels, aero, a complete engine swap a couple years ago. If you guys remember that, we have the RB26 freshly swapped from an R34 GTR. It is pretty much stock, but it is fast enough for my uses of the car, and most importantly, reliable enough for my uses of the car. We got our Mines X Tome complete titanium exhaust down here. We have pretty much everything, but there's one thing, one key component to performance modifications that has never been touched on my Skyline GTR that we are going to touch and change forever today, and I'm very excited to announce that right in here, these stock brake boys, those are gonna go, and we are about to get some of the biggest brake Johnnies that I've ever seen on any car onto the Skyline GTR. I'm making my way over to Intec Racing. As usual, I don't feel comfortable enough installing this setup, especially because these brake calipers just got freshly repainted, and I do not want to get any brake fluid on that fresh paint. That would be really, really, really bad. But before you're gonna comment it even further, just please excuse my raspy voice. I just got done freaking fighting the flu all week, and obviously these are the after effects of it. So today you guys get raspy voice Jack for the brake install vlog. Now I will confess, you guys are gonna have to trust the process with me on the caliper color. The color in itself is a wild one, and it does not currently go with the car whatsoever, which means that yes, the wrap may or may not be coming off, and we might be completely transforming this car into a new chapter. Just hang on with me, bear with me, and trust what I'm saying. We have arrived to good old Intec Racing. Also peep Austin's new daily, his E46 M3. We're gonna go park her right behind that. So our current bad boys are stock calipers that someone way earlier in ownership before me resprayed red, and as you can see, it's already faded itself a lot. But what we are going to be going with for the R1 Concepts full big brake kit is a Porsche Acid Green. Now this is where you guys are gonna have to trust the process a little bit, because clearly this acid green looks fantastic in my opinion, but it does not go with the red Advan livery that we have on the car. So yes, that means that this livery is gonna go, and we are gonna be doing a completely new livery that let's just say is a lot more inclusive to these acid green calipers. I actually can't tell if this is a front or a rear, just because that's how big this brake kit is. Even the rears, the rear calipers of this R1 Concept brake kit are gonna be literally bigger than the front stock calipers. Because if you know anything about brake kits, you know that rear calipers are always minuscule. They're tiny little things. They don't need to be that big, because obviously it's all the front weight that the car needs to stop. Freaking acid green, boys.
Those are super sick.
You know what's crazy? I can't tell if this is a front or a rear. The rears are this big.
Really?
Like, I mean, is that the same?
Those are the fronts.
Wait, is this any different? That might be the
Oh yeah, it's a little bit different. Look at the thingy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, one of these is the fronts, one of these is the rear. They're both like hella big. But
these are pretty light too.
Yeah.
They're not.
I wanted to do these before the wrap, because that way they could actually like color match that and, you know what they're working with. Yeah, and then plus, you know, it's just the order of, I feel like the wrap will solidify the next chapter of the car rather than do that first and then do brake kit. Yeah, I mean, these are the perfect wheels for them. They like show off brakes hella easily, and then they're freaking gunmetal on the green. That's gonna be freaking wild. Can you get a GTR on ramps?
Or how's that? One,
Just back and forth and back and forth.
Perfect.
Finally. All the way up there. good thing you know the clutch pretty well. You got that footwork down. So this is the stock rear rotor. And then this is the rear as well?
Yeah.
And then we compare. Just, I mean, look at that. It's not even close.
Your stock rear is going to be like 10 inches in diameter, 11 and 5/8, and that's 13 and 5/8. So you're 2 inches larger.
Damn. And then we got the drilled and slotted, baby. So as of today, if you guys got $20,000 around or so to spend on a car, this is what you will get. Yeah, a rolling chassis. Literally, that's what that freaking money can buy in today's standards of Skyline GTRs. Not a lot. I mean, literally like 2-3 years ago, close to when I got mine, 18, 20K, you could buy an entire running, driving car. Now this is all around that'll buy you partsless, everything. You gotta like take your eyes off the Advan livery. You gotta like pretend the Advan livery does not exist right now. But other than that, it looks freaking sick.
I'm not gonna lie, it looks kind of cool.
It looks pretty dang sick. Oh.
What this is, he needs to change master.
Driving the Skyline, it is incredibly hard to convey braking on video. It's a lot easier to convey exhaust notes and all that kind of stuff, but braking you just simply cannot put out. But this thing freaking, I mean, boom. This thing freaking stops. It stops so well, I could definitely protect myself from rear-ending anyone. However, it also stops so fast that someone is probably gonna rear-end me with not being able to predict the rate at which this thing brakes.
Everything's installed, rotors and everything?
Yeah, the entire brake kit is fully installed. Front and rear.
Damn! Dude, that looks so fucking good!
And then look at the rear. Dude, the rear is probably the biggest difference.
Jeez.
To get the lean.
Dude, the rotors just completes everything.
I know, that's the other thing. Yeah, I wish I have like photo comparisons. These rotors are so much more massive.
Yeah.
What's actually crazy is that we were worried about clearing the wheel diameter, which is like silly because these are 18-inch wheels. Like no one runs above 18-inch wheels on a Skyline. That's just like a sin. You don't run 19s or 20s. So it's like if they didn't clear these, I don't know what would. But as far as width clearance, oh, these wheels are chillin'. These R6s were like made for track use. And dude, I mean, by far, you just gotta literally block out all the red and just freaking the green on gunmetal combo right there. Let me shine a light on it. It's just like, ooh.
I almost think it would be sick if you just got the car unwrapped and ran it like that for a while.
I know. You know, it would be cool too, but it also saves me the work of unwrapping if I just send it into the shop for them to do both too, because laziness.
No, dude, the rotors make it look so much more like a race setup, which is dope.
Yeah, drilled and slotted, baby.
Yes, sir.
If anyone is interested in any R1 products for themselves, I do have a discount code. It is Ultra, and you guys can save 20% off any R1 Concepts products, except for big brake kits. I know, but hear me out. Brake pads are way more commonly used and probably needed to get ordered, and you guys can save big on those. So definitely go save 20% 20% off any R1 Concepts brake pads or anything else that they got. This is all valid until December 5th. After that, it'll only be 15%. So go click the links in the description for that. We're currently on our way over to get a photo shoot done. Basically, the last photo shoot ever with the Advan livery. Oh my God, there are some potholes right here. And we're basically making our way over to the spot right now. And we're also gonna have a special guest of a car to join us for this photo shoot that I'm excited. It's gonna go really well with this car. That's all I'm gonna say. Roads don't be treating us nice here. Oh boy. So one last shoot with the Advan livery on here, but we have the perfect car to go along with it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have brought out the Dad Van to go along with the Advan Skyline. 2 Advan livery cars, both Japanese. JDM, I want to say. He may not be right-hand drive, but he is as JDM as you could make that Honda Odyssey. This is Sean right here,
Sir.
and he is the owner of this beautiful creation. I like to honestly think that you've done a better job at this than even I have on my own car, because for one thing, he's got the true black on red, which is how it should be, whereas I kind of I did it the easy way. I just used half of my car, so this is my original gunmetal right there. And then he's got all the way dialed down to the tinted yellow headlights and the white wheels with the tire lettering and everything. I mean, it just looks superb. But so what was the original, how did the idea come up?
I wanted to build something. I wanted to build a Honda van. I've always loved these vans, so I've had a bunch of them. This is DV6, which is Dad Van 6, meaning I've had at least 6. I think I've actually had 7 now total, but I just wanted to build like a classic build, like something to kind of a throwback to back in the day. And then I went through a bunch of liveries, couldn't find one that I absolutely loved more than this one. I was going to do the Jacques Accord, which is probably before your time, but the Jacques Accord was the one that was white and it had like all the fluorescent triangles all over it.
Oh, gotcha.
I want to do something like that, and I was like, yeah, but nobody's even going to know what that is. So I ended up going with this.
What was the hardest part, would you say, to like source or just kind of get completed on this thing?
The hardest thing that we ran into was building the spoiler uprights, because that was an addition that I didn't plan on adding when I first put this together.
Yeah.
And
oh, I just realized, yeah, you got the sunrise flag and everything on.
This figuring out all the angles to bend everything, because I already had the spoiler blade. I knew I was going to use that. When a friend and I jokingly put it up side by side, and we were like, hey, we should actually try to put this on. And then I was like, man, that's really involved though. Like, you have to build everything to try to figure this out.
Yeah.
And then I ended up, luckily I do consulting for my job, so I'm in different businesses. When I went there, I had access to engineers and a guy with a laser cutter, and then fabricators right after that.
Gotcha.
So I worked with one of the engineers. He came up, figured out all the angles, everything had to be cut and bent at, did all the design. We sent it over to Laser. Laser got it cut. And then the fab guys did all the welding and a couple of the bends. That project took me, not that we were working on it every hour, but that project took probably 4 weeks to do.
Wow.
Start to finish. You know, nobody had ever done it. We had to figure out how to reinforce the hatch, obviously, because you can't just bolt it onto the lower part of the hatch and leave it because it's too thin.
Yeah.
So we had to put steel plates in the back. There's a bunch of steel plates and then spring steel, so the weight is distributed across the plate better.
Gotcha.
And we put that on without the upper brace, and it worked fine yesterday, but it would shake side to side. If you hit a bump, it would stay shaking for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, so then you added this piece right there.
Originally from Utah?
Yeah, I'm from Utah. Yeah, I just moved back up here.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think what is coolest about this thing is that Sean has proven that you could take pretty much anything and make it hella cool, especially if you do it the right way, if you go all in. And it's literally like changed my outlook on Odysseys of this generation now. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't remember them looking so aggressive and so mean at the front.
Yeah.
And it's just because when you see it all with the right stance and with the right everything, it just all comes together. And yeah, you could really work on any platform you got. So there's no excuse. You gonna pop the hood. For one thing, it does at least look like you put more effort into this than my engine bay, because
I mean,
you even got the livery matching on the cover right there.
Yeah, that's all powder coat. Powder coated this whole thing.
So what all have you done internally, you said?
It's got port and polish heads, cams, springs and retainers, ported intake manifold, upper and lower. Have a billet throttle body that I didn't put it on because it doesn't have cruise control. I don't.
I mean, you say it's slow, but I am curious, like, at what exact speed, like, this thing could go up against, because you never know.
No,
like,
it's legitimately, like, not fast. It's 4,400 pounds. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's just like,
yeah.
it still does, it'll do a monster burnout. You know, like, it still can do wild stuff, but it's not fast by any means. I've been in legitimately fast cars, and this is not something that I would consider fast.
That's cool. That's cool attention to detail. But he says he's got a supercharger getting cooked up in the works. So it's going to be faster.
It's going to be faster. Yes, that's correct. Not fast, but faster. It'll be fun. I'm sure it'll be one of the quicker minivans. You know what I mean?
Definitely, especially of this generation.
I don't think there's a class for minivans at any racetrack, but if there is, I'll go, you know?
I was saying that this guy is a pioneer because van culture is actually already a thing, but it's highly taken up by only VIP vans. So VIP stance and making all the interior with all the curtains and everything like that, but he's taking it on with a functional approach, and that's something new and that's something sick. I seriously cannot get over how big these freaking rear calipers are. You would literally think these are fronts at this angle if I didn't zoom it all the way out right there. It's a good day to be able to see these two together, but kind of a sad moment to say goodbye to that look of the car. He's got me completely beat on wing game. Yeah, not even a chance. Even with my double lips, nothing can freaking compete with that full trunk chassis mount.
I thought it was the only van sticker, so what sold you.
That too.